Hello, Asa Leveaux here, your Chief Genius Activator with a special message just for my Facebook people. So this isn't going on YouTube or anything like that. So as someone who's been in business for a decade, I started my business when I was 22. Something that I want to ask those who you want to be in business, you're just now getting into it, you have your card, I have to ask one simple question. Are you wanting to be a CEO, or are you wanting to be a ratchetpreneur? Yeah, I said it, a ratchetpreneur. So a CEO, a Chief Executive Officer, that's a title that should not be taken lightly. And the premise of this is something that a friend of mine on Facebook did in a call yesterday, Yakinia Marie. So shout out Yakinia, I see you. So, and I wanted to bring what she said to you all because I understand this. It took years for me to understand this. And so what I mean by, so the difference between a CEO and being a ratchetpreneur is understanding the pillars of business and then applying them well and consistently. So what in the world do I mean by the pillars of business? Well, I feel that there are five. There are five pillars of business: operations, finance, marketing, sales, leadership. Those are the five. If you want to be about this life, you need to understand those five. Study those five. Live and breathe those five. Eat those five. Grind those five. Talk about those five. Post about those five. You need to let it consume you in a way that it allows success to happen. I didn't understand this when I first started out, when I had my store, when I had my daycare center. I didn't, not at all. I just didn't. Now I do. So I want to offer this to you all. No, this isn't a part of a training. This is just free. Believe me, there's more information here. Believe me, it's fine. I'm not worried about what you do with this or anything like that. So, operations. Let's talk about the operations. So when you talk about the operations in your business, like where is it going to be located? Where are the operations taking place? Is this a virtual business? Is this a business that has a office? Are you in a co-op space? Is this a home-based business? Where is it located, physically or online? Equipment. What tools do you need to get the job done? In this day and age, in 2015, for me, if you want to make money, all I really need is a laptop with a good Wi-Fi connection and a phone. I can make a miracle happen with a laptop with a good connection and a phone. And really, a phone with a good Wi-Fi connection, and that's really it. I can do wonderful things in that capacity. Labor. What type of labor do you need? What type of human interaction do you need to make the business functional? Do you need a sales team? Do you need barbers for your barbershop? What labor do you need? And then the process. What processes do you need to make this happen? When I say process, a systematic way of doing things over and over and over again. Why? Because you are building a business. You are not creating a job. Right. You are creating a business. A business is a system. If you look at McDonald's, they make fries the same way in Oklahoma that they do in Brooklyn. I've been to both. They do. And in Paris. Seriously. You know how you salt the fries in an arch? Right. I used to work there. That's how I know. So it's creating a system and then taking that system, writing that down, and creating a standard operating procedure, an SOP, out of the way you do business. So therefore, you can be on the beach somewhere and somebody else can operate your business in a way that you want them to because there's a system taking place. So that's operations. The next, finance. How are you going to finance the business? Is this, you're going to do angel investors? Are you going to sell shares? Are you going to raise capital by doing donations because you're a 501c3? Or are you actually going to get on the phone and make sales, pre-sales, prior to the launch of a product or service? It's possible. It really is. I promise you, it's possible. So finance, you have to think about that, but a way that serves you as well as others. And there's a lot of work that goes into each one. Next step, marketing. Marketing is important. You need to come out of obscurity. What do I mean by coming out of obscurity? People need to know that you exist. How can we know that you exist if you never talk about what you do? I often on social media, especially here on Facebook where I'm posting this, somebody will say, hey, I need a web designer, and I'll just go. I'll just start typing in people's names. Why? Because they're in my mind. I always know that that's the web designer. Somebody may go back to my hometown of Oklahoma City and say, hey, Asa, who do you know that can do hair? Well, depending on the person, I know who to contact. Why? Because they are always on my timeline, always in my space, in my face about what it is they provide. I know what they can do because they say it. They are doing their best to come out of obscurity. It does not serve you well for no one to know what you do. That's not about someone being in your business. That's why you have no business, because you won't let nobody know about it. Okay? So, after the marketing comes the sales. Sales are so important. Sales are so important. It is the blood of your business. How is your business going to function if you don't make a sale? Let's not get this twisted. Yeah, you have a passion. Yeah, you want to help people. Yes, you are the answer to people's prayers. And guess what? It takes money to do that. If you want to be in ministry, then be in ministry. If you want to be a nun or a priest or whatever, do that. But guess what? It takes money to do that too. To feed the homeless, it takes money. And you're going to have to get on the phone and call those corporate donors to send in checks. So regardless, you need the funds to make that happen. That's sales. And being consistent in sales, having sales goals, and being accountable to those goals, and then having the statistical data that you can now see forecasting and trends based on that information. The last and final one, leadership. Excuse me. Leadership. It's so important. It's so important to all of this. Because you can have all of this, and it can just be doing all the things it wants to do with no coordinated effort. No one being the puppet master and pulling the strings where they need to go. And also, with this, being a ratchetpreneur, I know a ratchetpreneur when I see it, because I used to be one. You walk around town, your business might be successful, and you walking around town, and you're everywhere, but your business. You just being flossy, buying bags, taking trips, and ain't visited your establishment in weeks. You don't know what's going on. Folks at the daycare center acting a fool, people at the barbershop selling weed. Seriously, you need to be about your business. It's not about being a boss. It's about being a leader. It's not about being a boss. It's about being a leader. And guess what? Leaders are responsible for everything that happens and doesn't happen. So if you don't meet your sales goals, guess what, CEO? It's your fault. If you're still operating in obscurity, guess what, CEO? It's your fault. If you don't still have a standard way of doing your business in a way that can be duplicated and then repeated, guess what, CEO? That's your fault. If you don't have the finances to pay your staff, meet deadlines, offer a new product, that's your issue. It's totally you. If you're going to be a CEO, be a CEO. Be accountable to the action steps that you need to do to get the job done. All right? So I'm Asa Leveaux. Dreams and blessings. You all have a great day.